those that have not seen my Shadow of the Colossus review, click the link in the description. We'll be having a look at Valen. All the creators of the game called him Minotaur A, and I guess he does kind of look like a Minotaur, except with his horns cut off. And we're going to talk about everything about him, from his looks to his name to concept art. Speaking of which, we're going to have a look at it right now. And I have to say, his concept art is not that different from what he looks like regularly. Though, if I had one complaint, I would have to say the head looks kinda derpy. Hey, well, what can you do? Though I do like the idea that his fur is on his legs more, and his feet look pretty nice. Overall, this is a nice little picture from the director's scrapbook. And as we see right now, we have a look at his weapon, which I don't think they had time to finish, but as me starting out drawing, it's understandable, and I think it looks pretty good. Now, let's have a look at how big he really is. He stands a mere 16 meters tall, which makes him slightly taller than most of the average Titans in Attack on Titan. So, pretty cool. He's even bigger than the Warhammer Titan. Also is width around 12 meters, which is pretty large. And his length is around 10 meters. And overall, pretty big, but not as big as some things I know. Now, let's move on to his name, Valen, which, when I actually looked it up on my word search, it turns out it means pain or painful, but it could also mean Valen, as in the word for strength. And for the first Colossus, yeah, I guess it is good for strength. And painful, if this is the first Colossus, wouldn't its death be painful? Yeah, but no, seriously. I think Minotaur A is also good, but it's a bit generic. Anyway, that is it for the first Colossus in terms of its name, but there is something else we need to show. Let's start off with stuff I haven't shown you. For example, if you wait long enough and he turns around, the battle will begin anyway. Something minor, but there are other things I would like to show off soon. There's also another detail with this battle. After this little hit. If you manage to hit that little point 2 times, where I'll show you here, I didn't show it since it wasn't that important, but I might as well show it here with this analysis, and show it one more time. This cutscene begins to play. Which will help you get up on the Colossus quicker. Now I'm going to show you something that happens in the hard mode of the game. As I get onto this bridge. In the hard mode of the game, there's actually a secret sigil. You have to defeat the Colossus. I will not show this with every Colossi, since I find this bit a bit trivial, but I'll show it for this one, since this is something I didn't show in the original review. And yeah, that is basically it. Some other Colossi might have more on their body, but this is the only one there's an extra on the first. So let's finally finish this off with the design, as well as something else. After stabbing it a bit more. Start off with the back of the back. as you can see, the Colossi is mostly humanoid, though you can tell it's not all the way there, mainly for the fact of its slump posture. Also, there's a lot of architectural design. I mean, there's literally buildings on his back, which I do not know the exact purpose of, whoever designed this creature. Not in the video game standard, but of actual architectural design. And it also has a nice warhammer, which we'll see on this side view. He is not just holding any sort of giant club. It looks like someone had put a lot of care in its construction. Maybe he made it himself. That's actually a very interesting idea if he did. And also he seems to have Wolverine blades on his hands. I do not know exactly what those are, but they're pretty cool. Now, let's see what he looks like in the front. Pretty intimidating, though there is something on this design I've noticed by looking at him in the front. He has weird things on his armpits. I do not know what they are. Maybe hair, string, rope, whatever. But I find it very, very strange. Though I could overlook it. If any of you know what this is, write it down in the comments and tell me. Anyway, yeah, there's not much to say about it. Though, if you shoot him with an arrow, which you have seen many of times in my videos, you have noticed that his eyes turn red. And, well, his head up closer is a lot cuter than this picture. Anyway, now on to the special thing. And it truly is special! After every Colossi dies, their body rejoins with the earth itself. Maybe this hints of their true origin, as manifestations of rock and clay coming to life, but now that they are dead, it goes back to the earth. But that's not the reason I came back here, because if you pray, and if you press this button, well, you get to fight the Colossi all over again. And now you can see a full, detailed battle of this Colossi. And I'll come back after this fight. Enjoy! was awesome. And you can do that with every single other Colossi. So yeah, I won't show the fights unless it's possibly one of my more favorite Colossi. Though I will show each of their bodies, to understand what happened after they die. Now, on to something much more interesting. My redesign! That's right, I made my own redesign of the first Colossus, and it won't be the last. And I'm just going to tell you what I've done with each of them. Main detail that is shown here is that the first Colossi has actual horns, since he's supposed to be a Minotaur. But otherwise, I kept the design mostly the same. Everything from the shoulder armor to the things on his chest, to the legs, to pieces of where his fur is. I even managed to make custom patterns on his mace and his arms. And so, yeah, a pretty simple redesign, but overall an important one. It is also the first time I have one of my original characters that I've drawn in a fleshed out background, as you see with the trees down below and the birds flying around him. And yeah, now let's move on and what he looks like on the side, which will show up what his posture is like. And as you can see here, I kept his posture relatively the same as he was in the game, though I did add the feature that he has very long horns, and now you can see how long they truly are, and you can even see the hints of what those things on his back really are. Anyway, yeah, this is pretty simple. Now, let's move on to his back, and we'll show you the truth of where I'm going to put this thing in my custom stories. The final picture shows off his backside, and you can see the structures on his back, extra fur, and more details on the backside of his body. But if you look down in the lower right corner of the screen, you'll see some ruins. Here's a hint of what they could be. They are in the Emerald Forest. And this was a pretty good episode 1. This shows you everything you'll see in the future. And I will cover all 16 Colossi. Maybe show some tricks on how to beat them and other stuff, as well as show you my custom redesigns for my fan work. Anyway, now let's watch this beast die, the final part of my thing, and I'll see you on the second Colossi.